Now at 6 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, Victoria residents still waiting for the all clear on their water, why this emergency is different from past disasters. Plus, President Trump visits a Texas Hill Country community, what he pledged during his stop, and the questions still swirling about the disaster response. Plus, a Victoria Salvation Army captain heads to the Hill Country on a special mission, the unique role that he'll play in recovery efforts.
We had a few light showers around the area today, no major problems. We had sunshine, that was good, but the weekend may have a few more showers, but then next week it gets dusty again. We'll have all that forecast coming up in a moment.
And summer camps in Victoria? We go to a local gym, see what these local athletes have to say ahead of the upcoming fall season.
You're watching 25 News Now at 6. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Shauna Curry. Don Brubaker is on assignment. There is still no clear timeline for when Victoria's boil water notice will be lifted. New information has just come out from the city. City officials say the issue started on Monday when they could not build up enough chlorine in the water system. They worked with the state and issued the boil water notice Wednesday night before any health risk was confirmed. Unlike past emergencies like Hurricane Harvey or Winter Storm Uri, this was not caused by a disaster. It was also the first real test of the city's new alert system, which reached more than 20,000 people within minutes. 25 News Now's Trenton Whiting was at today's press conference with city officials in downtown Victoria, and he joins us now live from City Hall with more information for residents. And Trenton, the city just put out some new information, letting people know kind of where they are and what's going on with this boil water notice.
Yes, Shauna, this situation was called a shocker by City Manager Jesus Garza as a water boil notice issued on Wednesday, July 9th, reaches the 46th hour since it was first active. Now, Garza and Public Works Director Ken Gill say near John Stockbauer and Miori Lane, they found low concentrations of chlorine below the 0.5 requirement set by TCEQ. Now, the city says they've known about these low levels since Monday, July 7th, but have been working closely with TCEQ to try to address this situation. They wanted to emphasize that the area affected by low and fluctuating chlorine levels is specifically around John Stockbauer and Miori Lane, but since the water system is connected to the entire city, all Victoria residents are being urged to continue boiling their water until further notice. Now, the city will have another press conference tomorrow at 3 p.m. to address any further questions, but the short-term solution is to flush the water with low chlorine concentration and replace it with the proper concentration levels of chlorine. Reporting live from the City Hall courtyard, Trenton Whiting, KAVU-TV, 25 News Now.
And we're also just learning from the city that starting tomorrow morning, Saturday morning, they will do what's called a chlorine burn. So they will treat the water with only chlorine as opposed to some of the other chemicals that they typically would use to try to get the chemicals in balance. This was originally planned for later in the summer, but they've gone ahead and moved it forward because of the fluctuating chlorine levels within the city water system. So again, tomorrow morning, they will start doing that in hopes of bringing all of those chemicals where they need to be. So this brings us to our viewer poll today. Should the city offer bottled water if the the boil notice continues? Yes, no, or only if it lasts longer? We want to hear from you. Visit crossroadstoday.com/vote to let us know. Right now, 83% of you say that you feel the water should, or the city rather, should offer bottled water if the boil notice goes on for an extended period of time. So again, continue to vote and we'll have another look at those numbers on 25 News Now at 10. A routine traffic stop in Victoria ends with 4 people in jail and a large amount of drugs recovered. Just after noon on Thursday, officers pulled over a vehicle on North Navarro for an expired registration. But during a search, they say they found a stash of drugs inside. All 4 people in the car, 47-year-old Carrie Snyder, 53-year-old David Munt, 29-year-old Stephen Williams and 42-year-old Joshua Henry were arrested on 11 charges each, including drug possession, drug distribution, and engaging in organized criminal activity. A man wanted for murder has been transferred out of Goliad County. Goliad County deputies arrested 29-year-old Giovanni Rodriguez Aboites last Thursday. He now faces multiple charges in Goliad County, including criminal trespass, stealing a vehicle, and having a weapon illegally. He has also been sent to Galveston now, where he's charged with murder in a case from last week, and he is wanted for aggravated robbery in Indianapolis. A Victoria woman accused in a 7-count felony indictment is now set to appear in court again on July 22nd. Corey Ray Trevino was originally set to go to trial in May. That date was rescheduled for June 11th, and now her next court date is set for July 22nd. The 28-year-old faces multiple charges, including mail theft, forgery, fraud, and drug possession. The indictment accuses her of stealing mail from dozens of homes and using stolen information to write fraudulent checks totaling over $1,800. She was arrested back in March after a sheriff's office investigation. Well, turning now to our weekend weather, let's go to Chief Meteorologist Mac Perez to see if we'll be seeing the sunshine or the rain this weekend. Mac?
Well, it's one of those weekends where we're going to see a little bit of both, mostly sunshine, but late in the afternoon, you can't pull out, discount any of these little pop-up showers that we had today. We missed them all here in the city, but we did have some to the west and some to the east as well. Now, the thing is, other places of the state, specifically West Texas, is going to be looking at a lot of rain and potential more flooding. We'll talk about that and the Saharan dust, all that coming up in just a moment. Shauna, back to you.
Tonight, President Trump is on the ground in the Texas Hill Country where the devastation is growing. The death toll now climbing to 121 and 160 people still unaccounted for. The president arriving as urgent questions mount about FEMA's outdated flood maps and whether this region was ever truly prepared. ABC's Jacqueline Lee is on the ground in Kerrville with more on this story.
Tonight, President Trump in Texas, exactly 1 week after floodwaters surged through this community. The toll now 121 lives lost.
Our nation, we mourn for every single life that was swept away in the flood, and we pray for the families that are left behind. The search for the missing continues. The people that are doing it are unbelievable people, that you couldn't get better people than this anywhere.
Trump and the First Lady meeting with families and local leaders in Kerr County, where a staggering 160 people still missing. And as rescue crews work around the clock, there are growing questions about how this unfolded so quickly and whether more could have been done to prevent it, including why one of the hardest hit towns did not have sirens installed and why emergency alerts went out 90 minutes after they were first requested. And tonight, a new concern, FEMA's flood maps, designated to identify extremely hazardous zones, but now under intense scrutiny. Experts say those maps failed to account for extreme rainfall, dramatically underestimating the scope of the flood, especially at Camp Mystic, where satellite data from ICEYE reveals the scale of the disaster. The president's visit coming as he faces growing scrutiny for proposing a total overhaul or even the elimination of FEMA. Also under fire, budget cuts to NOAA, the very agency that oversees the National Weather Service and the forecast that helps save lives. And today, one of the first of many memorials, families remembering 8-year-old Hadley Hannah, one of the campers at Camp Mystic.
I'm going to miss the hugs, the daddy-daughter dates, the laughs, the passionate conviction.
Pray for our friends, old and new, who are experiencing this profound loss alongside us. We ask you to hold them in their hearts as some continue to search for their little girls and others say goodbye in the coming days.
And President Trump signing that emergency declaration to allow federal assistance to these families who lost everything. Meanwhile, search and rescue will continue looking for victims until everybody is found. Jacqueline Lee, ABC News, Hunt, Texas.
It has been 1 week since those floodwaters devastated Central Texas. Now a Florida congressman is calling for an investigation into FEMA's response. Democrat Jared Moskowitz says new cost control rules from Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem may have delayed critical aid. Moskowitz is a former emergency management chief and is calling it a major break from FEMA's usual rapid response. He claims the agency got bogged down in red tape while lives were at risk. Search teams did not arrive for more than 72 hours. Homeland Security defends its response, saying other federal resources were sent to Texas. A local nonprofit is once again bringing comfort to families during heartbreaking times. Trey Ganem and his organization, the Soul Shine Foundation, are stepping up to help families affected by the devastating floods in the Texas Hill Country. Ganem is creating personalized caskets and urns to honor each life lost, customizing every detail to reflect who the person was. And here's the powerful part. He delivers them to families completely free of charge.
You know, this is something that's very dear to us, and you know, I can't, you know, it's hard for us when we're doing all this, and for kids and family members, and you know, we're dedicated. That's what I can say, and we're here, and we're here to serve families.
If you would like to support Ganem and the mission of the Soul Shine Foundation, donations can be sent to his workshop in Edna, located at 304 Northeast Street. As of this afternoon, Ganem says that he has received 25 custom casket requests for Hill Country flood victims. Captain Kenny Jones of the Salvation Army of Victoria is deploying to the Texas Hill Country to help with recovery efforts. Jones says that he will be doing emotional and spiritual care for the Salvation Army workers as they help the people there. He will also be on the scene giving spiritual care for first responders and the victims.
We need to realize how much pain that these folks are in and how much suffering they're in at this time.
Captain Kenny will arrive in Kerr County on Sunday and will be there the rest of next week. The planned railroad overpass in Bloomington is still a few years out. TxDOT says construction on the Highway 185 overpass at the railroad tracks likely will not start until early to mid 2028, and it could take up to 2 years to finish. One of the big reasons for the delay is crews needing to realign the right-of-way and move the nearby FM 616 intersection to make room for the new overpass. The Industrial ISD Board of Trustees has named a lone finalist for Superintendent Mike Colvin. Colvin currently serves as Director of Administrative and Supportive Services in Comfort ISD. He brings more than 2 decades of experience in education, including leadership roles in Lockhart and Comfort ISDs, and was previously named Region 13 Principal of the Year. District officials say Colvin is a student-centered leader who prioritizes equity, collaboration, and academic excellence. He is expected to take over as superintendent after a 21-day waiting period required by state law. The board accepted Clark Motley's resignation as superintendent at the May 16th meeting, effective June 30th. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 6, a clash over the Epstein files, what's sparking new turmoil inside the DOJ and FBI. Plus, a power struggle at the Fed, why some say the White House is laying groundwork to shake things up.
Behind closed doors, too many voices go unheard. In Breaking the Silence, domestic violence in the Crossroads.
People who are going through this know that they are not alone and that they can get the help they need and the help that they deserve, that they don't need to be scared. There is people that care about them.
Amaya Norman brings their stories to light and shows how our community is stepping up to help. A 25 News Now Extra you can't afford to miss.
Sources say Deputy FBI Director Dan Bongino is considering resigning amid fallout from the Jeffrey Epstein memo release. He reportedly had a heated exchange with Attorney General Pam Bondi this week over how the case has been handled. In a meeting with top officials Wednesday, he was pressed about the story, claiming the FBI wanted to release more information but was blocked by the DOJ. Bongino denied leaking that to News Nation, but refused to sign a statement backing Bondi's position. Trump advisors are growing frustrated with Bondi's handling of the Epstein files. Texas lawmakers are urging the Trump administration to delay the end of a tomato trade agreement with Mexico, warning that not doing so could prompt the cost of tomatoes to jump and cause Texas to lose thousands of jobs. To read this full Texas Tribune article, visit crossroadstoday.com. The president's tensions with Fed Chair Jerome Powell are escalating. Trump wants an immediate rate cut, but Powell warns that could fuel inflation. The Fed says it's independent and makes decisions based on data, not politics. Amy Kiley reports.
Clearly, they're trying to make the case, and I actually think it makes sense.
A White House official denies a new letter seeks to lay the groundwork for ousting Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell. Many analysts disagree.
I think there's a compelling policy to do that. Whether or not they can legally do it before next year remains to be seen.
The letter from the White House Office of Management and Budget is about the planned renovation of the Fed headquarters. It alleges Powell failed to comply with government oversight regulations and lied to Congress about what the work entails.
There's no VPI dining room. There's no new marble. We took down the old marble. We're putting it back up.
It's no secret. President Donald Trump wants Powell out.
He should resign immediately. We should get somebody in there that's going to lower interest rates.
But he probably can't fire Powell for that reason. Supreme Court rulings forbid it, and analysts say the stock market could tank. They say Trump would need to find some other cause or convince Powell to quit.
He is going to make his life as miserable as possible.
Powell says the board probably would have cut interest rates if Trump hadn't imposed sweeping tariffs. Most economists say they're inflationary, but the president argues tariffs are good for the country. He has more planned to start August 1st.
If we keep piling tariffs on, then we're going to have to keep waiting.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. We are looking at your temperature at 88 degrees right about now. Mostly sunny skies here in Victoria, but we did have a few little showers around the area. Our high temperature came in at 93, which is right at about normal for this time of the year, and we've had some Julys that have been as warm as 108. Over the weekend, we'll have some shower activity, but then we got more Saharan dust next week. We'll talk about that after this. Well, the weekend is upon us, and we're wondering, is it going to be any better than last weekend? Well, I certainly hope so. I mean, that 4th of July was pretty tragic. Hopefully, I think you're going to get a lot more sun this weekend, but you can't rule out the showers. Now, you can see how we had some rain out there in Matagorda County. There's Bay City, Palacios, Port Lavaca, and Victoria. We didn't see much at all. We take a look at the larger picture, and you can see it was basically in the southeast portion of the state right about there. So we're going to see kind of like that tomorrow. A little sun, looks good in the morning, a little pop-up shower in the afternoon, and that's about the pattern for the weekend as well. A very interesting development, however, out in West Texas. Remember I told you about that big high pressure causing summer-like blazing heat? Well, it's actually backing up a little bit, and that poses a serious problem because you can see the winds going this way. The winds are going to pick up big thunderstorms north in Colorado and then bring them down into West Texas. So a place that doesn't need any more rain, it looks like it's going to be getting a lot of rain over the weekend. We're getting the sea breeze activity. I mean, it comes right off the Gulf. You can see that southeast wind, but they're going to be looking at a different flow. In fact, there's actually a frontal system that's going to come down, and they're already under a flash flood watch. And of course, that's from the Junction area all the way out to Midland, Odessa. They don't really need the rain right about now. Fortunately, it's not going to be going down into the Guadalupe River Valley north, but here is what we're expecting for the weekend. This is for Saturday. Garden variety showers for us, nothing severe. Here in the brighter green, that's a marginal chance of getting some severe thunderstorms, and then from Midland all the way to the Big Bend, where a lot of people go camping this time of year. I don't know, in the middle of the heat, but it's dry heat, but hopefully they're watching what's happening with the weather. Now, the dust, we had the dust over us for a day or two. That sort of shut down the rain. Now that dust is pulling away over the next couple of days. There's Saturday, and then we go on into Sunday, and that's why we have an unstable atmosphere and some rain here. But then you watch this. We got another big plume of Saharan dust crossing the Atlantic, and I'm figuring it's going to be here about Tuesday, and that's when we're going to see a shutdown of the rain and a little bit warmer weather because of the heat that we're going to be seeing, the abundant sunshine. Looking at partly cloudy, a good day the weekend down in Port Lavaca, or Seadrift as well. I'm sure Matagorda is going to be doing well as well. Partly cloudy with a high of 92. If you're going out to the beaches or to the boat, it's going to be nice. The inland areas may have that better chance of getting any of those showers, but Cuero's getting up to about a 91 as well. So here is the forecast for everybody in the Crossroads. 30% chance on Saturday and Sunday. Monday it starts to decrease, and by Tuesday I believe that Saharan dust will be in the area. That's going to give us more sun and slightly warmer temperatures. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. Love for you to scan that, put Crossroads Today on your phone, and today's the day. We did it. We pulled a winner, and we're going to announce the winner of the generator, the whole house generator, coming up at the end of the show, so stay tuned. Shauna, back to you.
Yeah, pretty exciting. We get to award that to a local resident. Also exciting, we've got our sports coming up. Here is Ray Robinson.
Thank you, Shauna. Giving you a sneak peek of what's to come this fall season with a word from a local summer camp. See what these athletes have to say coming up in sports. Crossroads, we're just under 2 months away from the start of high school football, so we can only imagine the hard work that these athletes are putting in. Which brings me to today, where a local gym is training these athletes. Now, coming up at 10, we'll have the full story, but here's a first look.
I think this is my third week here, and so this is great, helping me my performance strength-wise and speed-wise. It feels great. I'm getting stronger, faster, and just overall just more to find myself so I can be better at football and everything I do around.
I'm just trying to get better, you know, just like hanging around with all my friends and the seniors that I played with my sophomore year, looking to get better with them too. Yeah, because the people that I play with on my football team, I'm just trying to grow with them. Just like we're kind of competing as teammates. They're trying to get better while I'm trying to get better and stuff like that.
All right, game 2 is tonight as the Generals take on the Brazos Valley Bombers, and it's free ticket night. The Generals are looking to bounce back and even the series after dropping game 1, 5-3. But it won't be easy. The Bombers are rolling strong with a 7-game win streak in the second half of this season. Can the reigning TCL champs shut them down? We'll find out here tonight. But for now, here's a word from Coach Oros.
Yeah, just try and play clean baseball. We had our streak earlier in the year. Every team in the league goes through a positive and a negative streak, and we're getting them on their positive one right now. And, you know, it's baseball. It's a new day every day, and you never know what might happen. So we're in that time of the year where new players come in. Some guys are leaving, some guys are coming in. We're trying to keep our culture and keep our core group in there and get going on the right page going into the playoffs. We're 2 weeks away from playoffs.
Now, turning to our Little League softball coverage, the Industrial Cobras minor league softball team is traveling to Rosenberg to begin their state tournament play. They will face Lumberton at 8 p.m. So for residents of the Crossroads area, there is still time to attend and witness the action if you're willing to make the hour-and-a-half drive. And Crossroads, I'll be here all weekend with you bringing some fun local sports stories. So here's a sneak peek of what's coming up. First, the National Championship Sports Organization will be hosting their Banana Ball tournament here in Victoria. Banana Ball rules will be in effect at the sports complex all weekend. So we will be sure to hear from a winner from them on Sunday. And also happening right here in Victoria is the 2-day Wheelchair Softball Classic. The action will be at the CADC field all weekend. And tonight we kick off an exciting MLB series as your Houston Astros take on the Texas rivals, the Texas Rangers. First pitch is set for 7:10 p.m. Central Time. The Astros arrive with an impressive 55-38 record, sitting comfortably atop of their division as one of the best teams in the league. They'll be looking to defend their home turf with precision and power. The Texas rivalry always delivers plenty of thrilling moments in competitive baseball, and tonight promises to be no different. And the Houston Rockets are set to take on the Los Angeles Clippers in this year's NBA Summer League. The action is in Las Vegas. Both teams are coming into this match with lower picks from this year's draft, so don't expect to see many high-profile rookies on the court. Instead, fans can look forward to some under-the-radar players fighting to make a name for themselves and secure a spot on their teams. The game will start tonight at 9 p.m. Reed Shepherd is expected to take the court. But that does it for your sports. Shauna?
Okay, Ray, I have a question. Maybe I'm just oblivious, but what is Banana Ball?
Oh, do I answer? Oh. Banana Ball is basically it's basically softball, but there's a little bit of sports that I believe they're fighting, they're stealing bases. It's a lot. We'll get more into that this weekend. I'm learning about it as well myself.
I'm curious. I've never heard of it, so I'm curious to see. Well, thank you, Ray. We are back in a moment. The long and winding road is not over for Sir Paul McCartney, even after he just celebrated his 83rd birthday. Sir Paul McCartney is stepping on stage once again. The Cute Beatle has announced a 19-date North American tour that will kick off September 29th in Palm Desert, California. This next series of concerts is considered part of his Got Back tour. Las Vegas, Atlanta, and Chicago are also on the list. The 83-year-old McCartney sold out 3 shows at New York City's Bowery Ballroom in February. So tickets go on sale on Tuesday, July 15th. That may be something to check out if you can.
Yeah.
I don't know how much the tickets are going to be, but
You know what some
mean-
people are doing when the tickets are so high in their city, they go to another city, they fly over, and you could actually save money by going over there to see it and not in your hometown.
and it gives you a vacation.
Exactly, it's a big trip. Well, folks, we did it. Here is the winner of the whole house generator, courtesy of Aztec Ford. Thank you for the drum roll. Boom. The winner is Margaret Forehand of Victoria. So
Yay.
congratulations to Margaret. Actually, the station got a hold of her earlier today to congratulate her, so she knows she won. So, but that we wanted you to know who the winner was, and she's going to be having that generator available in case the lights go out. All right, we have a pretty good looking weekend, but you cannot rule out a couple of showers every afternoon for Saturday and Sunday. Next week, yeah, it's going to get sandy and dusty and even warmer as we push up into the 90s because of that Saharan dust, another phenomenon that we have here this summertime.
More typical weather.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you back at 10.